The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, what's the state of affordable housing in Fall River? One low-income advocacy organization created a report with its view. The new Diman construction project is steadily moving forward, and the holidays arrive early at Thanksmas this weekend. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, November 14th, 2024. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. Members of the Fall River Educators Association and the school committee met this week for another bargaining session on a new contract for city teachers. No agreement was reached. The two sides are scheduled to meet again on November 26th. Teachers have been working without a contract since the beginning of the school year. Mayor Paul Coogan says both sides have made concessions on salary increases, and he remains hopeful that a middle ground can be reached.
We've come a long way since our initial 2, 2, and 2, and they've come a long way down since their initial 12, 12, and 12. So finding that middle ground is where we are right now. We don't want to end up in any kind of a work stoppage or anything like some of the other communities in Massachusetts are in right now. We want the kids in school. We want the teachers teaching. We want the teachers getting paid. I think we are desperately trying to, resolve the finance part of this. But again, it's tough climate right now in Massachusetts.
The mayor says the city has proposed mediation as a way for the two sides to seek outside help in resolving differences. Summary
of it is you make your proposal. The city makes their proposal. The mediator looks at all the factors, finance, what's been said, who says what to who. I'm assuming it goes something like this. I don't know exactly what weighs into the fact, and they come up with a decision that I think could be binding on both parties. For example, we lost our mediation last year with the firemen. In the past, we've won some. So it's rolled the dice, but it also brings you to a resolution, and maybe that's what we could do. At one point I said I would love the teachers to vote on our proposal, but that's not where we are right now. They don't seem like they want to vote, and I'm not. They control the action of their members, so that's fine with me. But I think that might be a way to move things along to catch the flavor of where we are.
In terms of mediation, FREA President Keith Michon said the following, quote, FREA is not interested in mediation at this time. We continue to bargain in good faith, and we're hopeful we can reach an agreement on the 26th. Mediation will only drag this out longer. A statewide low-income advocacy organization suing the city of Fall River and the Fall River Housing Authority to compel the construction of low-income housing at the former Watuppa Heights housing development has issued a report detailing the state of affordable housing in Fall River. The Massachusetts Law Reform Institute was supported by United Interfaith Action of Southeastern Massachusetts, which has advocated for increasing affordable housing units in Fall River and New Bedford. UIA Fall River community organizer Tracy Albernaz says the report indicates Fall River is in a crisis in the supply of affordable housing for city residents.
One of the things that they found is that it's been said by certain, politicians and leaders in the community that Fall River has an affordable housing. They meet the threshold for things like Chapter 40B in the state. That's at 10%. They have met that. That Fall River holds a lot of subsidized units. That is true, that there is a lot of subsidized units. But as far as affordable for like the working folks, we're lacking units that are available. to people. The amount of available apartments to live in, period, there's almost none. And then the ones that are actually affordable that someone could be in, those are not existing right now. In fact, the number of affordable units has decreased over time, about 100 units since 2013.
The report indicates that the city has a low rental vacancy rate and has focused its housing development toward higher rent market rate units, putting the homeless and working class poor at risk.
We have people literally living on the streets who are homeless. The city just passed an ordinance to make it basically kind of criminal to be on the streets. And we have Fall River is predominantly working poor. And when the people that have lived here their whole life cannot afford to live here, there's really no other place for them to go. So while we might have met like a threshold of, yes, we've met this threshold of units, there's still not enough housing for the general population as a whole. We're not opposed to there being market rate units, but when you build market rate units, why not include inclusionary zoning so that at least 10% of the units are affordable? Do something besides just doing market rate units, which is what's currently happening.
The report compared Fall River's affordable housing supply to that of New Bedford. Ms. Albernaz says even though both communities have a shortage of affordable housing units, New Bedford has invested more money in developing affordable housing and has devised a formal plan to attack that issue. Fall River has no formal plan, but has the ability to do better.
We talked to some folks in the public school system, and we found out that throughout the school year, there's like over 500 students who experience some type of homelessness or housing insecurity in the school system. We've got the wait lists to get into public housing is like 6,000 people on the list, like a 9-year wait period to get into there. And the city has resources to build affordable housing. Besides the ARPA funds, there's a bunch of there's community preservation money, there's money from the federal government. There is money that they've had over the years, and that's not being used. Instead, what's happening is there's tax credits for market rate housing, and the amount of permits for market rate housing is just skyrocketing, and there's literally nothing being built for affordable right now.
UIA held a housing forum in June with community leaders on hand, which outlined ways the city can increase its commitment to building more affordable units.
Any new development allowing at least 10% of those units to be affordable. Like, for example, the Duval Street area that's like a market rate zone now, there's no plan to put any affordable units there. We would like to see some affordable units there. Accessory dwelling units, ADUs. So when we were originally asking for these, the state hadn't passed their Affordable Homes Act, the housing bond bill. They have since. So it will be a right come February for anybody to have an accessory dwelling unit on their property as long as it meets the certain criteria. So that's a way to have more housing that people could afford. If you have an older parent that you want to have nearby, but they need their own living space, this would allow for that. We found out about Faircloth units. Faircloth units are federally funded units, and there's a cutoff that was made when that amendment happened, and Fall River has 156 units available that they could have built. We're asking for those to be built. And the fourth thing that we asked for was to rebuild Watuppa Heights with affordable units.
Susan is a city resident who is suffering from housing insecurity. She has a disabled son and recently saw her rent increase by $73 a month. Now that may not seem a lot for some, but for her, it is a strain.
Now $73 to a single mom that is on disability herself, and my child's on disability, is a lot. That's extreme. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I can afford it. I don't know how I'm gonna get my son to Boston. I don't know how I'm gonna put food on the table that you do have to buy extra, that you can't get elsewhere, or the special medicine that my son needs, that insurance doesn't cover everything, so there are expenses there as well. And one case of my son's thickeners is $70 alone. Well, now what if I can't afford that? Because I have to pay that $70 in rent. Now, how is my son could choke, he could aspirate. That could put my son's life at risk.
Susan says being housing insecure is difficult enough without being stereotyped for struggling to make ends meet.
They treat some of the homeless like they're just addicts or just not good people. And that's just not true. You know, like a lot of the homeless right now in the city, they are good people that don't do drugs, they don't drink, they volunteer, they do the proper things, they just can't afford it. You are labeled, you are absolutely labeled. It's almost embarrassing to say you can't afford that.
Students and staff at Diman Regional Vocational Technical High School are in their second academic year, sharing space with construction crews working on a new facility that is slated to be ready for use in the fall of 2026. Diman Superintendent Director Brian Bentley says exterior work on the building is moving along as scheduled.
They have started this building in the north side of our property, and they're going to build this from north to south. So the north notch, as they call it, is they're trying to wrap this up and get it, not complete, but they're trying to get it encapsulated so they can start doing indoor work. So as far as the outside work to do, they're concentrating on the north end of the building, which is, as you can, if you're driving from Hyacinth Street or if you're coming down Locust Street, you can see the crane, which is located in the central part of the building project. But they're concentrating on that north end because they want to get that stories there. There are 3 stories there. One of them is tough to see. It's a little bit below the grade level, called below ground. But they're working feverishly on that to get it, as I just said, all closed in so they can get the interior work done. Moving towards the spring, when they go back outside, now they're going to start expanding to the southern side of the existing structure.
Mr. Bentley says in early December, the Diman community and construction crews will celebrate the installation of the final iron beam on the project. The traditional top-off will include students, staff, supporters adding their signatures to that beam.
So that on Monday, the 9th, we're going to have the freshmen and the sophomores with the beam, which will be placed outside near our front entrance, come out and probably not sign the name, as it is a 12-foot beam, and if they start signing, we're going to run out of room. So I'm probably going to initial it, that they can put their initials on it. We're going to do freshmen and sophomores and the teachers. Tuesday will be the juniors and seniors and the teachers. And then on Wednesday is the big day. We're going to have any remaining faculty who haven't signed, members of the administration, the building committee, school committee members, the representatives of the 4 towns and the city of Fall River here. And that'll be the last official initialing that day. So it'll be a whole school event. And then they're going to raise it that afternoon and put it in place on the building.
Coinciding with the on-time construction schedule is news that thus far, the project is still on budget to be built based on its original $293 million price tag. A portion of the cost of the school will be borne by taxpayers of the 4 communities that Diman serves: Fall River, Somerset, Swansea, and Westport. Mr. Bentley says recently the school received word that more money has been allocated for the project by the state that will reduce the cost to each community.
The legislature passed legislation which allotted Diman an extra, it's not extra, but they allotted $11 million that could be applied towards the square footage reimbursement. We cannot enlarge the school. It is what it is. It's been accepted and it's in the pipeline to be built according to the specs. But what they could do is to defray some of that cost, especially the reimbursements, which is what costs the cities and the towns, rather, that's the taxpayers' money that they're putting in. That was allocated an additional $11 million to allocate towards reimbursement. To give you an idea, what does that mean? To the city of Fall River, their reimbursement, they will receive an extra $9 million in funds in order to lower the reimbursement rate that they will have to pay to have the new Diman built. That's a significant amount of money. The remaining $2 million plus is separated or divided not actually equally among Somerset, Swansea, and Westport, but it's allocated according to the number of students and the percentage of students that they send to Diman.
Fall River's payment toward the construction of the new school has decreased from $110 million to $101 million. Nearly 80% of Diman students live in Fall River. Even though the opening of the new school is about 2 years away, plans are underway to organize the move of materials from the old building to the new one.
Every single desk and chair that's inside this building will not be moving. Okay. Other material that is essential to move would be any of the equipment in our shops that are essential to teaching and learning that will be moved. But small items, things that as teachers you collect in your classroom or you collect along the way of your career, everything from their own coffee pot to their own cups that they have, that's not going. Much of the internal will be left behind to be auctioned off. So internally, we have now started that process of notifying, especially the shops and the academic classes, that this is what's going to happen. Our next phase will be in January-ish, January, February, where they're going to actually start labeling things that stay or go. We're actually going to label only the things that are going, because if it's not labeled, it's staying, and more likely will either be auctioned off or it will be demolished.
In other news from Diman, the school has welcomed the new assistant superintendent and principal. Leslie Weckeser has over 25 years of experience in vocational education and has served in her role for a little over 3 weeks. She says she hopes to build upon Diman's reputation for academic and vocational excellence.
Diman has the strongest vocational foundation, and it's always been that school that's been highly competitive in all of the other schools that I came from. So I'm super excited to be leading that charge and to really take a look at making sure that we're meeting the needs of the community. That's something that I want to instill into every student that we have here at Diman, is that there's a sense of building out your own community. When you see faces in industry and you are meeting with business people across the South Coast and you have that discussion, and maybe being a vocational educator, I always ask the question, did you attend a vocational school? And those top-notch individuals all graduated from Diman, which is a testament of what things that we do every single day. It's a testament to the education that our students receive.
Ms. Weckeser is looking forward to growing the educational opportunities for all students when it transitions to the new building, with a focus on ensuring all Diman graduates are career ready.
Our students know that they have options, and we refer to them as career pathways. It's not just about going to high school. They're coming here and learning not only their academic but their vocational skills that can be transferred into careers moving forward. You know, I used to say the preparing to be college and career ready. Well, doesn't even college prepare you for a career? They're the same thing. So I think that our academic educators in half the time, and then students have the ability to be able to be multifaceted as well. We actually prepare our students better for a long-term pathway of adulthood, because that is life. You're flipping back from career, learning, and providing for your family and taking care of your community. They're learning how to do that while they're a high school student.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions and latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Independent Living Coordinator, Southeast Center for Independent Living, located at 66 Troy Street, seeks a part-time independent living coordinator, responsible for providing direct care and support to individuals with disabilities or special needs. Job number 217-16557. Lead Software Engineer, L3 Harris, located at 275 Martin Street, is seeking a full-time lead software engineer to design, build, and maintain software components for data collection, processing, and analysis. Job number 217-13011. Sewing Machine Operator Supervisor, Anchor Uniform Manufacturing, located at 451 Quarry Street, is looking for a full-time sewing machine operator supervisor, responsible for monitoring machine operation, placing materials on spindles, guide fabric through machines, and remove finished items. Job number 217-16590. Pharmacy Technician. Walgreens, located at 369 Plymouth Avenue, is looking for full-time certified pharmacy technician. For more information, call 508-730-2902. St. Anne's Hospital, located at 795 Middle Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Patient Transporter, job number 217-21445. Registered Nurse, job number 217-21459. For more information about these or other positions, visit MassHire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the MassHire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Fall River will kick off the holiday season at the 4th Annual Thanksmas Market and Holiday Celebration on Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Old 2nd Street and Sullivan Drive adjacent to Government Center. The event is organized by Viva Fall River, the Fall River Arts and Culture Coalition, and the City of Fall River. Viva Fall River Executive Director Patty Rigo says the family-centered event will feature dozens of South Coast vendors as part of an artisans market, a contingent of food trucks, and activities for the entire family.
I think we are having a visitor. The Grinch was not available, so we have a visitor from the North Pole coming, but it's not who you think it is. So there's a big surprise there. Same amount of some great vendors. We have a lot of new people, a lot of food trucks, some favorites that you see at a lot of events in the summer, and some different ones like we have a boba tea truck, which I'm really interested in, and then some great performances from local dance troupes. The Cambodian dance troupe is going to be doing something with us, and Attitude Dance Academy, and we will have the I almost forgot, the Canned Heat Tipsy Toboggan beer tent will be back again with us. So that's always like a little fun thing for people. Nice way to warm up if it's a little chilly. But yeah, I think it's just going to be you can expect the same amazing, family-friendly, fun celebration with lots of things to do, and we're going to have a DJ again, and I think it's going to be a really fun event.
More information on the Thanksmas Market and Holiday Celebration can be found on the Viva Fall River website. Many of us have heard the phrases AI, blockchain, cybersecurity, and Web3, technologies that are becoming a part of the culture of business. Local thought leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs are hosting the South Coast Innovation Symposium to explore how emerging technologies are transforming industries and how South Coast businesses can take advantage.
A lot of people are afraid of AI or don't know what its applications are, and really small businesses can really learn a lot in how AI can really almost become like your business partner. There's a lot of things that can take the weight off of some of the more manual tasks that you have. So, blockchain, Web3, AI, these are all things that kind of have a mystique around them. So this event is really about demystifying that and really drilling down into how businesses and entrepreneurs can harness this technology to help advance their business.
Even though the focus of the symposium is on local businesses' implementation of these technologies, everyone is welcome to learn more.
But it's not meant for techies. This is a conference meant to kind of show these real life applications and really take away, don't fear the future. Learn how to, embrace it and learn how it can work for you. I think it'll be a really, it'll be like a low stress atmosphere to learn about some of these things that you read about. And when you read about things, they just sound like this isn't for me. It is for you. You can use it and it will help your business.
The South Coast Innovation Symposium is free and will be held on Saturday, November 23rd at Bristol Community College. For more information and to pre-register, visit vivafallriver.com/SC Innovation. We will wrap up this edition of FRC Media News after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we're showing you Honeycrisp. Honeycrisp is a female 3-year-old tortoiseshell cat. She actually came to us. Unfortunately, our previous owners, whoever they were, when they moved out, they unfortunately abandoned her where she was living. But luckily, somebody found her and her kitten. She came to us with 2 kittens before anything bad should happen. But she's a very, very nice cat, very sociable. She would do well in a multi-cat home. She would do well, I would say, with children. She does very well with everybody, as you can see here. She comes over right away for love. When we come in and clean the room in the morning, she's one of the first ones that's over to say hello. But she's a very sweet girl. If you think that your home would make a great home and you could give her some great love, we would love to hear from you. You could always give us a call or just come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter. Today we have Sarah J. Sarah J here is a 2-year-old Husky mix. She actually came to us, she was an owner surrender. She actually came with her 4 puppies. She was a mom recently. Very playful, great with everybody. She does very well with the other dogs. And she's fairly, we don't have a history with her for cats, but she's pretty mild with them. Very good girl. We've been working a little bit on some of her manners. As you can tell, she can be a little pulley sometimes on the leash. We're working on that. That being said, she is treat motivated, food motivated, which can help with that training, at least that initial first steps of the training. Bear in mind, she is a Husky mix. Huskies, they do need a lot of room to move around. You might be interested in Sarah J here. Come on down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us at FRC Media News, have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.